No matter which version of the textbook you use, this type of simplified calculation is a must test in elementary school. Let's look at the problem. We're asked to calculate 5/6 minus 7/12 plus 9/20 minus 11/30 plus 13/42 minus 15/56. Many students, upon seeing these fraction addition and subtraction problems, think they need to find a common denominator. Are these denominators easy to find a common denominator for? Well, they're not. Previously, when we talked about clever ways to calculate fractions, we discussed fraction sequences. We said that there are two clever methods for calculating fraction sequences. One is called denominator-base numerator difference. We've already covered that before, but today's problem fits the second method, which is called denominator-base numerator sum. Let's explain this. What does denominator-base numerator sum mean? It refers to fractions that follow this kind of pattern. We can write it as a times b in the denominator and a plus b in the numerator. That is, the denominator is in the form of a product, and the numerator is in the form of the sum of two numbers. Fractions like this can be written as 1 over a plus 1 over b. Today, we not only need to know this formula, but also understand the reasoning behind it. Let me explain it to you. Look at this. Open parenthesis, a plus b, close parenthesis, over open parenthesis, a times b, close parenthesis. Can I write it as a over open parenthesis, a times b, close parenthesis, plus b over open parenthesis, a times b, close parenthesis? Take the first fraction, for example. If I cancel out the a in the numerator and denominator, well, actually, you can't just cancel out the a like that. But if you do, it becomes 1, right? So it turns into 1 over b. Now, for the second fraction, which part can you cancel out in the numerator and denominator? You can't just cancel out the b. If you do, this part becomes 1, and it turns into 1 over a. But 1 over a plus 1 over b is not the same as 1 over b plus 1 over a. So that's the reasoning behind this conclusion. You all need to understand this clearly. Now let me ask you, do these fractions here satisfy the property of mother chicken and chicks, the sum of numerator and denominator? For example, the first fraction, 5/6. How can we write that? Come on, let's write it down. Can I write it as 2 times 3m? 2 plus 3. Is the sum of the chicken and the egg like this? Next, is the fraction satisfied? Can I write it as 3 times 3/4 plus 4? See if this corresponds to the next step. Let's break down the remaining fractions. What should we write next? 4 times 4/5 plus 5. Now subtract 5 times 5/6 plus 6. This corresponds to that, and this corresponds to this. Moving on, what about this 13 over 42? Can it be written as 6 times 6/7 plus 7? And the last one, can this 15 over 56 be written as 7 times 7/8 plus 8? Everyone, pay attention. When we were breaking down each fraction just now, the sign in front of each one, we can't just change these signs at will. If it was a minus originally, it stays a minus. If it was a plus, it remains a plus, right? Next, we're going to break down this type of fraction into the sum of two unit fractions. But when breaking them down, you must pay attention because some signs are plus and some are minus. Now, let's look at the first fraction. After breaking it down, it's very simple. It's just 1/2 plus 1/3. For the second one, after breaking it down, it should be 1/3 plus 1/4. But there's a minus sign in front, so it should be minus 1/3 minus 1/4. Do you understand? Because after the minus sign, it's as if there's a parenthesis here, which is 1/3 plus 1/4. When you remove the parenthesis, the signs inside must change. So you really need to pay attention to this change when you write it down. Now, for the next fraction, since there's a plus sign in front, I can just write it as plus 1/4 plus 1/5. Now here, we've come to a minus sign again. Can anyone tell me how this should be written? Let's look at how we wrote it just now. Shouldn't it be written as minus 1/5 minus 1/6? And what about the next one? It should be written as plus 1/6 plus 1/7. Everyone should know the last one, right? It should be written as minus 1/7 minus 1/8. After we've broken these down into fractions, are there any terms that can be cancelled out? Look, plus 1/3 minus 1/3, that's 0. Minus 1/4 plus 1/4 is also 0. And there are more. Look, these pairs, all of them can be cancelled out, right? So in the end, this expression becomes 1/2 minus 1/8. If we convert 1/2 to have a common denominator with it, it should be 4/8. 4/8 minus 1/8, the final result is 3/8. And with that, we've finished this problem.